Fantasy football is back, and what better time of year than the fantasy football season? So right now I'm ranking the top 12 kickers this week here. Going into the week, the first guy, Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens. So Justin Tucker, he was probably the first fantasy kicker taken off the board in your fantasy leagues here. And we know he's got one of the best boots. We know he's one of the best kickers of all time here is Justin Tucker. And this week he's got a plus matchup versus a weak New York Jet defense, who I believe this Baltimore Raven team, they're going to be in the red zone early and often this whole game. And I wouldn't be surprised here if Tucker gets double-digit fantasy points quick in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if this Baltimore Raven team scores anywhere from 35 to 40 points in this one. They're going to be in the red zone early and often. This Raven team, they're going to come out this season hungry after last season having a down year and having a lot of defensive struggles. And Justin Tucker, he's going to be set up for huge success in this one. And I got him number one. Number two, Tyler Bass of the Buffalo Bills. So Tyler Bass, he's quickly becoming one of the better kickers in only a couple seasons here in the NFL. And the Bills and Rams, this is going to be a shootout game. And the great part about it, Thursday Night Football, it's the opener. It's an indoor game. And Tyler Bass, he's a guy known for those 50-plus yarders. And in this one, I think he can hit 1 or 2 with them. He's going to get a bunch of extra points. And this game's going to be a shootout. Both defenses, great defenses, no doubt about it. But I still think the passing is going to outdo the defense in this game. And Tyler Bass, he's going to get opportunities in this one. And I think he's another guy that's going to have a big ball game. And I got him in number 2. Number 3, Evan McPherson of the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Steelers and Bengals, this could be a tight divisional dogfight game where it comes down to a couple field goals. And Evan McPherson in his rookie season last year had a great season here with the Cincinnati Bengal team. Another guy known for his big boot. Another guy who could kick bombs through the uprights and get double-digit fantasy points. And coming into the season, I had him as a top 5 kicker. And this week here, the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that bends but don't break on defense. He's going to get many opportunities, I believe, for field goals. And I got him at number 3 this week. Number 4, Matthew Gay of the Los Angeles Rams. So this Ram team, high-powered offense. I know Matthew Stafford, a lot of people concerned with that elbow injury. But I think Matthew Stafford and this team still going to put up a lot of points this season. Matthew Gay, he was very good at kicking the football last season, very accurate. He plays 8 to 9 games indoors per season here, obviously. And week 1 he does versus the Buffalo Bills. And this is going to be a shootout. Everyone's going to have a big game except the running backs on both teams in this ball game. Kickers are going to be good. Robinson and Kupp are going to be good in this ball game. Gabriel Davis, Diggs, I think have good games. Dawson Knox. So right here, this is going to be a fantasy monster game for all these players I just mentioned. And Matthew Gay, I think is possible. He could hit double-digit fantasy points in this one. I got number 4. Number 5, Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. So this season, we might actually see him get more field goal attempts with Tyreek Hill out of town. And some of those deep balls where he just takes them to the house might not happen, even though they got some speedy guys on this roster. Drafting Sky Moore, getting Valdez-Scantling, who's a deep threat, signing him away from the Green Bay Packers. But Harrison Butker in this one at Arizona, another indoor game. And that's a huge thing, obviously, playing your games indoors as a kicker. And this week here, it's going to be a shootout in Arizona between these two teams. This ball game could come down to the wire. This ball game could come down to a game-winning field goal. And Harrison Butker, year in and year out, he's always in the top 5 in fantasy points a kicker. And this week here, I got him in number 5. Number 6, Greg Joseph of the Minnesota Vikings. So Greg Joseph, he's bounced around the league over the last few seasons, but he's finally found a home here with the Minnesota Vikings. And he's another guy with a big boot, and he's another guy with an indoor game as well here for this Minnesota Viking team is Greg Joseph. So this Viking team, they're going to put up points this season, even though this week I don't think Kirk Cousins has a great game, but they're going to get in the red zone a few times versus Packer team. Dalvin Cook's still one of the better running backs in all of pro football. He's going to get him in the red zone. And Greg Joseph, like I said, he could kick those 50-yarders day in and day out. And that's what he's going to do here, I think, in this one. Have a 50-yarder at least, a few extra points, maybe a few 30-yarders or whatever. But this week, a lot of good kicking options. And I got Greg Joseph at number 6. Number 7, Daniel Carlson of the Las Vegas Raiders. So Daniel Carlson, he's been pretty solid in his career as a Las Vegas Raider. And this is another indoor game and another divisional shootout I think we're going to see with the Chargers and the Raiders. Yeah, obviously I could be wrong, but right here, both these defenses not that great. I know the Chargers improved getting Khalil Mack, obviously, Derwin James and Joey Bosa as the main guys on the defense. But I still think this ball game is going to be a rodeo up and down the field here between these two teams. And this is the best division in pro football, in my opinion, is the AFC West. So Daniel Carlson, I had him in my start videos for kickers to start. So if you haven't seen that, check it out. And this week here, he's going to be a top kicker this week. Top 7, I got him at number 7, where they're going to go up and down the field, and he's going to get opportunities. And he's been a great kicker indoors, obviously. And most of his games this season is going to be indoors. Obviously, the one game at the Chargers, all his home games indoors. So it's very good here for Daniel Carlson. And I got him at number 7. Number 8 this week, Dustin Hopkins of the Los Angeles Chargers. So staying in the same game, Hopkins, the Commanders surprisingly cut him last season when he was a pretty solid kicker for seasons over there with the Commanders here was Hopkins. And then the Chargers scooped him up, and he's helped their kicking game because the Chargers, we've known for 5-10 years, no matter what kicker they get, they just can't get the job done. Michael Badgley, he was bad with the Chargers. Then last season, filling in for Blankenship, he was pretty good. But right here, Dustin Hopkins, if he's inside the 40s, he's going to pretty much put it through the uprights here, is Hopkins. And this week, an indoor game, Chargers at home. This is going to be a shootout, like I mentioned with Carlson. And both these kickers are going to have good ball games, at least scoring anywhere from 8 to 10 fantasy points. So right here, he's a no-brainer. And number 8, number 9, Brandon McManus of the Denver Broncos. So this Bronco offense is upgraded mightily here, going from Teddy Bridgewater to Russell Wilson this season here. This ball game's in Seattle. Brandon McManus, we know he could kick that ball 50, 55 yards anytime, any place. I know it's not in Denver, but still, as a top 10 kicker this week, he's a no-brainer. And he's a guy I said to start this week as well as Brandon McManus in my kicker to start video. So I think he has a good ball game. He'll get a few opportunities. I think this Bronco team is going to be living in the red zone early and often on Monday Night Football. And Russell Wilson, he wants to stick it to his old team and get his team in position to at least put 3 on the board pretty much every drive here. So Brandon McManus, I think he has a good game here in week 1. And he's a kicker I could start with confidence this week. Number 10, Robbie Gould of the San Francisco 49ers. So Robbie Gould, he's still going, a veteran playing in this league, 12-plus seasons already. He's going strong as Robbie Gould, and he versus his former team, the Chicago Bears. So Robbie Gould inside the 40, he's one of the best kickers and most accurate kickers. The only problem with him is obviously outside 50-plus yards is where he runs into a little bit of trouble here, is Robbie Gould. But this 49er offense is a dynamic offense. Now Trey Lance added to this offense to go with good playmakers like Deebo Samuel. Obviously, George Kittle, when healthy, one of the better tight ends. Brandon Ayuk, could he have a bounce-back season? And E.Y. Mitchell, if he's healthy, could be a good running back this season. So right now, I think this 49er team, they're going to put up points early and often in Chicago. Chicago's going to be one of the worst teams, I believe, this season in pro football. And Robbie Gould, he's going to get his extra points in this one. And I think he's good for 2 or 3 30-yarders in this one as well. And I got him number 10, number 11, Matt Prater of the Arizona Cardinals. So Matt Prater, he's been in this league a long time as well, just like Robbie Gould. And this week here, indoor home game versus Kansas City, this is going to be a shootout. And this one could come down to a field goal, like I mentioned earlier, with Harrison Butker, with both kickers who could kick that long ball and put up fantasy points in a hurry here. So Matt Prater, he's usually good almost for 150-yarder almost every game here. And in this one, I think he gets it, and I got him at number 11. Just the offenses those other players are on and matchups they have is why I got these kickers ahead of Matt Prater. But you can't go wrong with them. If you're in a 12-team league and you drafted Matt Prater, great. He's a guy you would start pretty much each and every week. And this week here, I got him in at number 11. And number 12, Nick Folk of the New England Patriots. And Nick Folk, he's up there in age, and he's been in the league already 13-plus seasons. Here is Folk. And Folk, he was great last season with this Patriot team, finishing in the top 10 in scoring and fantasy points for kickers. And this week, a good matchup versus the Miami Dolphins, where this ball game is in Miami. Weather's going to be nice probably. Ball's going to be carrying. And this Patriot team, they're an offense that don't finish a lot of drives in the end zone, where they got to settle for 3. And this is a division matchup. This Dolphin defense is pretty decent. And I think they're going to hold the Patriots to a few field goal attempts. So I think Nick Folk has another good game this week here. So that's the top 12 kickers I'm ranking here for week 1 of the fantasy football season.